How do you motivate the players with really nothing at stake in this game?
Yeah, our view is entirely different in that there's plenty at stake in this game. So Adelaide are going to bring a significant challenge to us, going to give us another opportunity to learn about ourselves, to work on the improvement that we've been looking for throughout the year. So it's a great opportunity for us to step up to that challenge.
What about Will Schofield's cheekbone? What's scared?
Yeah, he's had surgery on it. So it's fixed now, and we expect that he'll be available next week.
Pretty confident that he will be able to play?
Pretty confident, yeah.
When you look at the changes you would make between the two games between this week and next week, how many blokes do you reckon are playing for a spot considering different matchups? And let's talk about what's at stake for players.
Well, no different to what it's been all year, really. We've got, we think, a really healthy squad of, probably 30, 32 that we could have in consideration to play any given week at the moment.
How's Coxie travelling, John?
Really well. Yeah, really well. We've lightened his load over the last 3 weeks. So I'd say he'd be anxious to step it up again.
And his eyes fine?
Yeah.
How close did Daniel Kerr come? Was it just a case of giving him that extra week and making sure he's 100% next week? Yeah, we could see from the weekend that he wasn't going to be able to step it up to be running flat out by later this week. So, there was no value in, he wasn't going to train, so he was ruled out early. No, he got a whack in the back and it's been very stiff, so he will get better day by day. So he'll be back out running flat out either today or certainly tomorrow.
Has he been able to do much running at all with it?
He hasn't done a lot of running yet, no.
So last time he was injured, he really stepped up his running load to be in good nick. Will this impact on him at all? Or
don't think so, no, because it's only a short period. It's only really a week, maybe, that he's missed out on.
Well, I know you don't tamper with your game plan, it's tweaked for various teams, but looking on the lead up to the finals, do you do sort of different things for different teams that you're likely to play?
Specifically, we'll look at just how we want to play against Adelaide this week, with a view of working on the things we've worked on all year. We're not going to add anything new. It'll be just reinforcing the stuff we've been working on all year.
Is it fair to say that over the last couple of weeks you would be looking though towards the first 5 style?
Not really, no, but it does give you the opportunity to use some of the things you have used at other times throughout the year. So that's just normal process.
John, will Sam Butler come into the side for this week?
He's up for selection. He got through 80 minutes of football last week, so that certainly puts him in contention.
Would you want to give him that sort of run at this level before going into finals, or would you maybe consider him as a sub player? Yeah,
there's a few scenarios. One is those two, and then the third one is that he gets another full hit out for Perth and is available next week. So there's various ways to look at it, which we'll weigh up.
What about Jack Darling, John? How's he tracking?
He's feeling great. He's ready to go.
You said we're both in your best 22.
Sorry, is
Jack and Sam, are they both in your best 22?
Potentially, yeah. Jack's been in our best 22 for the majority of the year, and Butts has been a bit more in and out due to injury, so he's got a bit more of a battle to say he's in our best 22 for this week or next week.
John, how's Chris Marston? He must be confidence-wise, it must have been a massive boost for him on the weekend.
I think he was pleased to have played a really good game. He's worked extremely hard to get himself into that position to play well. So it was a credit to him. Chris is still a young player. His 50 games have been fairly broken. So I still believe there's a lot more room for improvement in his game.
Gives you a little problem though ahead, doesn't it? You've now got another good midfield in the mix.
We want as much depth, as many players in really good form as we can have.
Who do you replace Schofield with?
Well, we've got a few options there. Yeah, obviously Mitch Brown is one. Brett Jones is in good form. We had Smith as the sub last week, so he could come back into the side full time, and Sam Butler is another one to look at. So we've got a few. We had Brennan as a sub as an emergency last week that travelled with us, and Brad Shepherd's in really good form. Matt Rosa, if he was required to play a game next week, we have had confirmation that he would be able to play for someone's reserves team with Peel not being in it.
So
That's
John,
new, that's new, isn't it?
Don't think so, no. A few years ago, Ash Hansen played reserves for someone and someone else as well. So there's, well, the Waffle will be able to let you know what the exact rules are. Clint Roberts will confirm it with him.
Just on Scott Selwood, just talk a bit about his development over the past few years, and especially this year, what you've seen from him.
Yeah, well, Scott was drafted as a 17-year-old, so he came in very young and got an early taste at various times through his first couple of seasons without stringing together a lot of games. But probably early to mid last year, he started to show what we expected from him that he was going to step up to, and you know, that was a great learning curve for him last year, and he's carried that on into his development this year as well. But still a young man. He only turned 21 at the start of the season, so still upside with Scott as well.
Is he one of the best tacklers in the league? Is that how?
Well, he's an intense, in-close player, so he certainly lays a number of tackles, and generally they're pretty solid.
Is it rolled down the track? Do you see that changing greatly from what it is now, or will he always be one of those?
Oh, no. We're always open to be convinced that players develop and play other roles. You know, we see it through history of the game that not just at our club but at all clubs, players who look like they're pigeonholed in one spot develop and blossom and play other roles really well.
John, has Andrew Gaff's development actually surprised you? Like, since he came back into the side, I think his uncontested possessions rate alongside Swanee and Montagne's and blokes like that, they're pretty big numbers for a first-year player.
Yeah, obviously we're delighted with the way he's gone. We were pretty confident from one, drafting him with that he was going to be a highly talented player for us, but then looking at his attitude through a pre-season program, then you start to see the full picture, and we started to say there's little doubt that he's going to be a top-line AFL player. The speed of that is always the unknown, but you know, we think he's got to this stage of the year without being overworked. You know, he didn't get a lot of ground time in the first half of the year, missed a few games with his sore hamstring, so we think he's in his prime fitness right now.
Well, you mentioned Brett Jones before as a chance to come in this week. He hasn't played AFL footy for a long time.
Yep.
Last time an away game, I imagine he's under the pump for a spot next year. Would you like to give him a farewell?
Would love to give him a farewell game, but we're not in a position to be able to just look at it for that reason. But his form was outstanding last week for Claremont, as it has been for a number of weeks. And with Schofield going out of the team, and with finals coming up, Brett is still in contention to play this week and in the finals for us. You know, with any mishaps or drops in form, we've got a senior player there in good form, which is a great position for us to have.